There is significance in the name of the parasha, as we know. This week's parasha is called Emor, as in Emor el HaKohanim, say to the Kohanim. Now, when Hashem asked Moshe to speak to the Jewish people, he mostly uses the word daber b'nei Israel, speak. This week, though, he uses the word Emor, say. Now, I know in English those two words basically mean the same thing, but not in Lashon HaKodesh. There's nothing extra in the Holy Tongue. In Lashon HaKodesh, daber is stronger, firmer, and more formal, often used when issuing some sort of command, for example. Emor is more gentle and soft and positive. This week's parasha's name, which is significant, because the names are significant, like I said, doesn't specify the audience, so the theme is all about this form of speech, Emor. There is a time to speak, and there is a time to not speak. Rather than interpreting this as a call for times of silence, this can be read as there is a time to speak, and there is a time to say. What is special about saying? Shammai says, Emor me'at va'aseh harbeh. Speak little and do a lot. Now, the obvious meaning of that, as it's normally taken, is that there's less value to speaking as there is in doing. Don't tell people what you're going to do. Just do it. Don't complain about the problems in life. Fix them. And that's obviously a very profound and true lesson that we should all take on board. However, a deeper way to read it is not as two separate points, but as one point. Say a little, that accomplishes a lot. If you know how to say properly, then you only need to say a little, and that will accomplish a lot. When we speak in this softer, more gentle way, it can accomplish a lot. Firstly, we must recognize that our speech creates an effect in the world. We, Hashem's people, are given this power, being his chosen people. He created the world through speech, as in, it's the speech itself that creates. So too, our words, especially the words of Tzaddikim, have an effect. In Hilchot Deah, chapter 5, the Rambam teaches in a very important halacha for a Talmid Chacham, that he should misaper b'sheva chavero v'lo bignuto klal, should speak favorably and never denigrate someone. Now we know that it is a mitzvah for all Jews to never denigrate someone. This is Lashon Hara, and the Rambam brings this himself in the very next chapter. So why does he say this specifically about Talmid Chacham? Also another question, why does the Rambam order it in the way he does, saying misaper b'shevach and only then v'lo bignuto? V'lo bignuto, don't denigrate, is the more important one, right? It's continuous, perpetual. You should never denigrate someone. Whereas when it comes to saying shevach, that only applies when there is a reason to do so. So to answer this, we have to see the statement as just one point. The point is that this speaking with praise, this type of emor, this type of positive speech, is a special kind of speaking. And the not denigrate at all part is a clarification on that. How does that work? It's coming in the context, as in the part of this chapter for the Talmid Chacham, of judging others favorably. When a Talmid Chacham, who is obligated to act in a manner that is pleasant and causes a kiddush Hashem, a sanctification of God's name, sees someone doing something wrong, he should still speak pleasantly to him and find words of praise and see the good in this person. This is specifically in a case where there is a definite wrong, not suspected wrong. Hence, he shouldn't denigrate him, even then. He should find a way, with words, to bring out the positive in this person so that the person's bad behavior and character will be uprooted completely. The rest of us, though, not Talmidei Chachamim, as discussed in chapter 6, should follow the normal rules of rebuke, but even we should find a way to do so that accomplishes a lot. We should use the power of Emor rather than Daber, whenever possible. I'm sure we all remember times when we were children. You know that one time we did something really bad, like absolutely horrific, and we knew we were going to get in trouble. Our parents were going to explode at us, scream at us, and ground us for 10 years. And we were terrified, but they didn't. And that really was powerful. It really made us change. So how can we do this? The Gemara in Arachin says, Rabbi Tarfon said, I wonder if there's anyone in this generation who can accept rebuke. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah responded, I wonder if there's anyone in this generation who knows how to give rebuke. We can see from this that the problem of us not being able to take rebuke is that people don't know how to do it. not because we don't know how to receive it. If we could give rebuke correctly, it would be received with love and gratitude. As Yeshayahu says, Odacha Hashem ki anaftabi. Thank you, Hashem, for having rebuked me. Indeed, there's the story of the Sfat Emet from when he was a boy. He was not coming punctually to his Torah classes, so his grandfather, the Chedushei Harim, really rebukes him harshly for it. And the boy stood there and didn't say a thing. Later on, somebody told the Chedushei Harim that it was because the boy was staying up all night learning Torah, and that's why he was coming a little bit late. So he called his grandson and he said, "Why didn't you say anything when I was telling you off?" And the Sfat Emet said, even as a young boy, that he didn't want to lose even one word of rebuke from his grandfather. He proved from how Gad and Reuven didn't respond to Moshe's rebuke about settling on the other side of the Yarden, that the words of rebuke of Moshe were precious and beloved to them. And indeed, the Mishnah says in Avot, Ohev et hatochachot, love rebukes. So how can we rebuke our fellow Jew in a way that they will feel loved by it and appreciate it? Well, let me tell you something I once heard that really transformed the way I think about life. A mother came to her rabbi and said that her son had gone off the derech, and he had taken up an alternative lifestyle, if you know what I mean. The one that the Torah calls a to'eva, an abomination. She said that as a mother, to love her son, she has to give up on the Torah too, because she can't follow a Torah that says this about her son. The rabbi's advice was completely unexpected. He said to her, "Why do you have to give up on the Torah? Don't you realize that by giving up on the Torah, you are making a statement of how little you love your son? Think about it. You are effectively saying that if your son is a to'eva, then you cannot accept him. Indeed, many mothers in similar situations do that. They disown their son. So, you are saying that your love and bond with your son is conditional, and that's not right. If you truly love him, you will not reject the Torah, and you will still stand by him, even if he's doing something wrong." We can learn from this. We often feel that we shouldn't judge others and overlook their sins, chas v'shalom, because we feel that that's a sign of showing them that we love them and respect them. But the opposite is true. It's a sign that we don't love them enough. If we truly love our fellow Jew, we'll be very judgmental. Indeed, when we are judging them, our love will shine through. We will speak gentle words that have an effect, and they will indeed love it. One practical point I want to make before finishing is this. The reason why people do not accept rebuke often is because of their honor. The main way to respect someone, as we learn from the halachas of Kibud Av V'Em, honor your mother and father, is to not embarrass them. Therefore, when we speak words of rebuke, we must first and foremost have in mind to not say things in a way that will embarrass them or humiliate them. This will happen only if it's coming from, as I said above, a place of sincere, authentic love. Words of Emor, where we say words of positivity, such as things like, "You can do better than this," and mean it. And if we truly master this art, we don't even need to give rebuke to bring about a change. There's a famous story when RabbiYehoshuaSimons Yosef was walking on Shabbat, and a football came and knocked his hat off. He looked around and found a group of teenagers sitting there playing football on Shabbat, and they looked mortified. And he turned to the boy that had kicked the ball, and he noticed that he was quite skinny. And he said, instead of shouting at him, "Have you eaten today?" The boy said he hadn't. So he invited him back to his house for the Shabbat meal, and the boy came. He stayed until the end of Shabbat, and they spoke some words of Torah. And then the boy wanted to go to the movies, and he said, "I can't afford to go to the movies." And we know how much RabbiYehoshuaSimons was against the movies, so it was a perfect time for him to do some rebuking. What did he do? The opposite. He lent him the money, on the condition that he comes back again to learn more Torah with him later. And the boy agreed. Indeed, the boy came back, and to cut a long story short, that boy is now Rosh Kollel. If we truly master the art of Emor, like Hashem teaches us to do in this week's parasha, and emulate him, we can indeed speak a little that accomplishes a lot. Shabbat Shalom.